Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote. If you're currently in chat and you're a subscriber, you can throw those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. Harold, thank you for the host. I know that you have a program to watch because I believe that it's loading ready live time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's tonight. Of course, I don't watch that live when it happens. Hi, Lashbrook. Welcome. Um, I do like Loading Ready Run quite a bit, and I will watch it after the fact. Yes, throwing in other emotes, always cool. Welcome. Um, the drop off, y'all. Yesterday, I felt it. Today, when I looked to update from Thursday stream, I feel it. Oofa doofa, that drop off. If you don't know, on my birthday stream, which was June 23rd of last month, obviously, June, a bunch of gifted subs, like a good amount of gifted subs, and obviously, folks that are gifted subs, they don't have to continue. If they want to continue, they're welcome to, but they don't owe me. They don't owe me nothing. So the numbers dropped. The numbers are okay. It's just that the numbers were higher as of a couple days ago. And the thing is, I felt it coming. Uh, welcome, Kanzeni, or Kzeni. Mr. Bob is here. Welcome. The real thing is, honestly, I say this, and I mean it. It's great if you want to subscribe. You don't have to. If you watch, that's the thing I care about. If you want to be in chat, you don't have to be in chat. But if you'd like to be in chat and engage with conversation and give your thoughts on what I'm talking about, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. Uh, I'm okay with that. But I'm happy you're here. We're going to wait to see if a few more folks want to join us. Sometimes Saturdays are surprisingly full of folks. Sometimes Saturdays are pretty dead for like an hour. And then the folks that really just need me to talk about anime comment right on the last go. Initial base name. Okay, so it's Kzeni. Gotcha. I don't know why I thought it was Kzeni, but because the Z would be lowercase. But you're welcome. Thank you. Happy you're here. But yeah, folks are it's always nice if when the numbers go up. Honestly, we're over 40 right now. As long as we can stay over 40, it means that I am pretty much guaranteed a payout every month, which is great because it doesn't really help me too much to have like a month where I don't get a payout and then a month where I get a bigger one. The consistency of that payout around the middle of the month is what helps me continue to do things. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. We're going to wait another minute. We'll give a retweet, and then we'll get to building. You may, if you were here on Thursday, you may remember that I broke a piece of this Gundam. That's right. This is the Impulse Gundam Lancier, and one of the antennae I completely broke off. But it's back. Now, you might be asking yourself, Pat, how'd you do this? Well, it was a clean break at a point where I could use liquid cement. Liquid cement is not what it sounds like. It's actually a chemical that basically I put a little dabs on both sides. It melts a little bit of the plastic, and then you use pressure, and then as it dries, it bonds them together. Is this a permanent solution? No. Is it better than using glue? Or, and the same way that if it was an internal piece, then I would probably just use I would probably use this, but I would also use like blue tack. But since it was on the head, I just used it. It's not perfect. I can tell it's not perfect. But from far away, you would not be able to tell that I did this wrong. You would just think the head is a little tilted. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I got a few things I want to talk about tonight. We'll get into a couple things, I'm sure. But I'm going to retweet that I'm building. And hopefully we'll get a few more folks in. If we don't if this is a chill stream tonight with just a few faces, that's okay. I get it. Sometimes Saturday nights are for relaxing. Heck, little paint and sanding should fix that seam. Yeah, I mean, like, it's it's perfectly fine. I'm totally okay with it. Um, I mean, it broke pretty clean and it adhered together well. I'll say this. Also, hello, chill stream, everybody. Yeah, this is gonna be a chill build stream. I mean, honestly, obviously, we talk about. I say honestly and obviously a lot. We talk about stuff. We don't ignore the reality of the world that we're in. Certainly, we're willing to be honest with ourselves about those things. But also, you know, I got an overlay, that pops in when people subscribe. Uh, that's about it. We don't get a lot of raids. We don't have hundreds of people in chat. I don't have to put slow mo chat in or emotes only or anything like that. It's just pretty much like, good people talking about cool shit, building model kits, Lego sets on occasion, that kind of thing. We got, our body done here, our head done. Look, honestly, high grades just kind of build themselves. That's the real thing. Yes, it is a smaller scale than if you're working with a master grade. I'm actually gonna move my chair in a little bit here. If you're working with a master grade, yeah, you're gonna be dealing with bigger pieces, especially the old days of the 1/100 scale high grades. You don't see those much anymore because they don't make them. The closest thing, honestly, you're gonna get is the Iron-Blooded Orphans full-blooded mechanics. No, what? Iron-Blooded Orphans full mechanics. It's not full-blooded. Although, what if it was called full-blooded mechanics instead of full mechanics? The Iron-Blooded Orphans full mechanics are a non-grade, but they are basically between a high grade and a master grade. They're not quite master grades, but they're more involved than a high grade in the 1/100 scale. But those are basically the thing there. What's green putty? Oh, fill in the gap and paint it, just like the original piece. Oh, so you could do that. So, a thing that I suggested is I don't have it accessible. Um, there's this kind of like I call it blue tack, but you could also get in green. Um, Blue tack it would be good for internals. So sometimes, let's say it's just like it's kind of like gum, but it's very posable and sticks to itself really well. It's good for hey look, Crash and welcome home. If this joint was loose, if you could feel, you can see this, it's not right. But sometimes these are loose, especially in like early real grades. These would be very difficult to. I think I got to make sure autofocus isn't on here or auto whatever. So give me a second here. I'll get into this in a second. My advice on this. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, we're good. Mr. Bob in it for the blue tack talk. Indeed. So if this was loose, if this was like falling all over the place and like, if you put a weapon in its hand and the arm fell, you could take some blue tack and then you would just like pop it around where things were loose and then shove it in there and then it would harden it. As it hardens, it just kind of, it is a filler. Now that is different than, like using something. Blue tack is my favorite tool in modeling build these days. Yeah, it doesn't cost a lot. I've got a ton of it. I've used it very little. But you can use it for a lot of things. You can also use it, as a filler. And you could, if you wanted to, if there was like your repair work included like a gap, you could fill it with blue tack if you wanted to, and then paint over it. Sand and paint. So basically, I'm going to not touch it because it's this one. This here on the other side, I went to shove this piece in and I put it in wrong and it broke. But I was able to glue it in. I finished the rest of the head and then glue it in. I will say you're not really going to see the seam. The seam isn't great on this high grade. I've seen that in photos. It's not my assembly. It's often my assembly. In this case, it's not my assembly. You won't see it too much, but you could if you wanted to, fill that in, I guess. The non-committal glue. Yes, I bought one pack 3 years ago. Yeah, I have so much blue tack left because it doesn't take a lot to do. We did a kit bash project last year where we took two kits that I liked but didn't necessarily love, and I made my own. Basically, there are only so many Gundam that are known in Iron-Blooded Orphans, but they're all based on names in the Book of the Dead. So I just took another name from that book that hadn't been used in the series and made my own Gundam out of Gundam parts. But that did require some glue and some blue tack to kind of keep things together. That was a fun project. I don't know if I'm ever necessarily amped for doing that again, but it was a good time. Blue tack, yeah, blue tack is just a good product. I would say if you're getting started in building, it's helpful. It's not required. Just the same thing of like, I have an X-Acto knife. Oh, Aristofan just subscribed. Nearly 2 years. That's 23 months. Thank you so much, Aristofan. Hey, subscribers, let's throw the emotes in the chat and thank Aristofan for their continued support. Thank you so much for all your support. Yeah, that is almost 2 years. Hell yeah. So, I would say an X-Acto knife is nice for applying stickers. It's helpful. Particularly if you are working with like transfers, like dry transfers and stuff like that, like tweezers, that can be helpful. Obviously, tool talk. Yeah, we're doing a little tool talk, Dead Fox. Fill in holes in a wall. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're doing a little tool talk, a little tools of the trade. Now, I obviously, not obviously, but I have snipper clips. These are not great snipper clips. These are okay snipper clips. If you want to get into posing Gundam, blue tack solves many issues. Oh, with the older kits that don't pose well. Yeah, if you want to photograph old kits, blue tack is very helpful for that, to kind of keep the rigidity. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay, and then we want B18. I think that's helpful. And I will say this: the thing that I wish I had when yes, these are basically these are decent enough snipper clips, but because they're made by a good company, but they also are good wire cutters as well. It has a good spring to it, but it's not. I don't like a heavy resistance. I like it to just clip when I need to clip and go through things. I don't want to really fight. So for me, these are good. They were very inexpensive. I got them on sale because my clippers broke, and I needed, and I like just they broke like off stream, and I needed clippers for a stream, so I got what I could get. When I had a kit in the hotel room, yeah, they're just inexpensive. I have my eye on something a little better. Hit nail clippers. Hey, nail clippers in a pinch. Kitchen scissors are what I used. Kitchen shears are what I used when I first started. Wire cutters, all that stuff. Like, use what you have. Now, a thing that I was saying, the thing that I wish I had when I was starting out, in the 90s, mid to late 90s when I started building, was can include a small flush cutter. Yes. Is this. This kit is meant for working on smartphones. But it's got spongers and it's got metal ones and plastic ones and tweezers. I added this. This was not part of this kit. This is just a small screwdriver because certain old kits have screws in them. So if you're going to work on something from Gundam X, or not Gundam, G Gundam, maybe Gundam X, I can't remember, but G Gundam, you might have screws. Or some old, very old original perfect grades. You're going to find some screws in those. So that's just nice to have, and it's in here so when I need it, I have it. This little kit cost $15. I can't remember how much the screwdriver. I stole the screwdriver from my former employer. Yeah, no. I mean, it's like a little portable this little sponger thing, this little kit is great. It basically most stands have screws and I hate them, right? You can hit up the makeup section for Q-tips and buffer polisher. Yes. Also, I have it. It's not close because I really don't worry about it as I'm building. a lovely tool to add to your collection is just get a couple sandpaper sticks. Instead of owning sandpaper, get a couple sticks. They last a very long time. They do the job very well. That is a tool, like I said, it's not easily accessible because I kind of don't care, but it is when I'm building, but it's good to have. But yeah, screwdriver, that's helpful. Those tools have been very helpful for me. Uh, uh, Grit papers, yeah. Yeah, so instead I just have a couple sticks, and they're good for kind of filing down some nubbins. Um, yeah, I mean, these are all helpful. Like I said, I wish I had those before instead of using your snipper clips for all your problems. Like if I have to open this up, I can probably just use my fingers and force. But if I've got a little wedge that I can shove in there and pop it open, that's going to be a lot easier. All right, so let's get A1 out. Hello, Epic Open World. Welcome, welcome. Godhand has a line of sandpaper in various grades I like a lot. Ooh, that's good to know, Lashbrook. The bottom of my current wish list has some snipper clips that sometimes have Amazon Prime shipping and other times don't. That seem very nice. But yeah, these are pretty cheap. Clean out the cruft that builds its sandpaper grit and makes it last longer. Don't just toss it if you don't need to. Yes, totally agree with you. I mean, also, this stream is primarily about building. It is rarely about maintenance. It is rarely about posing. And I do have things on display. I have some, my storage unit in New York currently has a few kits that I decided I didn't want to go without. Okay, so does this look right? This looks like it might not be right, so we are going to disassemble and see if I did this wrong or not. So I'm going to just make sure. Okay, this went in like that. Yes, I did this wrong, so I am going to redo what I did to fix my mistakes. It didn't look right, and I've done enough model kit skeletons to know when it doesn't look right, and this didn't look right. I had put these in backwards. Luckily, easy enough to fix, caught it fast enough, or early enough. I would have noticed it, but yeah, it just didn't look right. Didn't look like things were lining up properly. Yeah, and that looks better. Is that better? Looks better. I don't know if this is better. I may have still messed this up. Did I still mess this up? I still messed this up. Wow. I am off of my game tonight. But that looks right. That looks right. So, a thing I wanted to talk about tonight was I went to a wedding yesterday and didn't leave my house. What? That's right. Some friends of mine got married. They have been waiting to do it, and they were like, forget it. We're going to go to the beach, and we have someone that can socially distance from us to do the ceremony, and we're going to have them, while we're doing it, they're going to hold the phone, and we'll be part of a Zoom, and we'll have family come and friends come, and it was very nice. I saw via Zoom some people I haven't talked to in a little bit. So I got in there, and the bride and groom were still heading to, so that they get married in Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, no, they didn't do that. They got married via Zoom. So I get in there, and there are a few friends that I recognize, and they're all muted. And none of the relatives are muted. They're all talking over one another, and there's feedback because someone has the laptop and the phone going, and they're too close to one another, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, aka perfect. It was perfect, but it was exactly the kind of perfect I thought it was going to be. We're just like, oh boy, okay, all right. And all of my friends who I know, what we share our friendships with the bride and groom, They all were muted, and then one of them texted me, being like, "I've been here for 5 minutes. Oh God, I want to go." If you want some real cheap sandpaper, melamine sponges could be part of. Okay. Responsible, do things. Don't hold off important moments like that. Yeah. It also polishes in both parts. Mr. Bob, that is a very cool pro tip. I appreciate that, my friend. Um, so it was just really funny because everyone was like talking and they were like, "Oh, what place are where are you?" And like some of the family has met, but most of them haven't met, just because of things. And so it was like this whole conversation that was going that like all these conversations were going, and occasionally they would talk to like one of my friends um, who was helping like run the thing. Like he was gonna have a direct live feed of the wedding and then send that to everybody in the Zoom. So he had an important job, which he did, and he did a great job with that. But yeah, I was basically just like texting with all of my friends who were there, who were all muted. One of my friends made the smart call that she not only muted herself, she also changed her image to like a be right back image so that she was in there but didn't have to communicate with anyone. It was very funny. And then the wedding happened, and it was very lovely. Just a nice little ceremony. Unfortunately, they could not get married at the beach because the beach was closed. They were not allowed to be at the beach. So they just went to a park, and it was really nice and just fun, and it was a cool thing to be a part of. And I was happy to be there. And then and then they had to like get back to their apartment. And so we all kind of hung out, and like the thing I kept hearing, which I enjoyed, folks learning how to use Zoom. Yes. So over and over, I kept hearing people say, "This is my first time using Zoom. This is my first Zoom." And I was just like, my mom's using Zoom now. Like, come on, y'all. Like, get it together. It doesn't have to be this way. You could just use Zoom, and it would benefit you, often. You don't have you don't have to live like this. My favorite was there was an older lady who was just there smiling and talking to people, having a great time. I loved her. There was a couple of older folks, and they had dinner out because it was like in the afternoon, so they weren't going to not eat, but they also had champagne, and that ruled. It was the best is that they had champagne ready, but they also just like had a parakeet on a WebEx the other day, and it was the worst. Yeah, they just like they had a ball. There was also a couple that just looked. They both had resting bastard face, and they just looked so unhappy the entire time. Like the entire time, they looked like they would rather be anywhere else, and it was very funny to me. And it was just like, it was a nice little ceremony and a nice little reception, and I'm so happy for them, and I'm glad they did it. And also, we're friends. I wasn't gonna go to Chicago for their wedding. I don't have travel to Chicago money, so let me eat this pizza and toast the happy couple. So the thing I wish I had done, Epic Open World, was I had tacos, but I waited till I'd done to eat. Because also, as I said, it was a little early. I didn't need to eat dinner then. But I wish I had been like watching and like clapping when they kissed, and then like also eating tacos. I didn't pull that off. There was also somebody who was using her phone. She was at work, and her phone name was the name for her Zoom, but she didn't know how to change it on her phone. So she was just Moist Toast. It was just the name she gave her phone. So it was just like people were just being like, blah, 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 Moist Toast. She goes, yeah. Oh, also, I may have to get off this call if someone comes because I'm at work and I'm the only one here. So, and I was just like, okay, I love you, Moist Toast. She seemed, you know what, honestly, she seemed real cool. She was definitely be someone that I would try to talk to, because I always try to talk to like a cool person at a wedding, somebody's cool relative. honestly, in reality, when I'm a friend at a wedding, I only really talk to the people at the table at reception. And I will go and hunt down my friends. If some of my friends aren't sitting at that table, I will go and hunt them down and hang out, usually with just people I know. But sometimes it's fun to talk to people that you like, you don't know. Uh, don't name anything moist in everyday life. Yeah, I don't know. It was very the thing. People were really into it. I mean, they were on board. Uh, there was like a kind of he wasn't obnoxious, but he was the obnoxious one at the thing. It was like somebody's former roommate, and I was just like, I have had enough of this particular person. But it was fine. They were just a little. They were a little much. They were a little entertaining. Uh, it's the least I've ever talked at a wedding. And also, the least I've ever talked at a Zoom call. Because I said, hi, everybody. And that when I came in, and then realized I didn't know everyone. And then when I left, I was like, congratulations! And then disconnected the call. So it's the least I've ever talked at a Zoom and also a wedding. I met the guy who designed that lightning connector, the lightning connector at a wedding. Weddings are a great safe space for talking to strangers. Yeah, I met a bunch of weird, like, tech people and people that went to a friend's wedding, and there weren't a lot of people from his current life. It was a lot of people from his high school and college and her family. So I kind of represented his adult life in a way. And so I was very happy to be there to kind of represent that era. I'll say that. I like representing eras. A friend of mine got married a couple of years ago, and I was one of her only comedy friends that went. And so she's kind of out of comedy, and she's a school teacher now, so she had a lot of her school teacher friends there. And that's great, and I thought that was awesome. But I was like, well, this is an important part of your life, and so I'll be here to represent that. Now that I think about it, all weddings would just be Zoom weddings. Yeah, it was like, y'all, the one thing because there was a lot of family, I understand that. If it had been mostly friends, then someone would have DJ'd, or there would have been some goofs. I didn't do my usual bit because the wedding ended, and then the reception was just us talking again, and there was this moment where nothing happened. And my gut instinct was to say, okay, so for our improv set, can we get a suggestion? Which is a very bad joke, but works very well. That joke is a good icebreaker because you're very much like, we're not going to do improv, don't anyone worry. Now, you do the short form version, which is, okay, could we get a suggestion of an occupation? You do that, and you do it very hammily. And I almost did that joke, and I didn't. And then someone else did a stand-up, something okay, so I guess this is a stand-up, my stand-up set, and that got a laugh. And I was like, I almost did my silly joke that works great on parents. Pat, what if you just did improv? Yeah, I mean, also, I've been to weddings where improv set. I went to one of my favorite weddings of all time. They rented a small theater because they couldn't afford to do anything wild, and there were two improv sets. I was part of one of the improv sets. There was a sketch by his former sketch group. His groom, the other, who was not a comedian, he had his friends do this kind of game about facts about him. Someone read a funny prose piece that they had written, and it was like a comedy wedding, and it was awesome. And it's one of the only times I've ever done improv at a wedding, and because I've done that twice. Because there was another wedding where there was a stage, and towards the end, of course, I don't drink, but folks had gotten very, very drunk, and we came back to the reception, and there weren't that many people left, and somebody demanded that we do improv. One of the bride's uncle demanded that we do improv because there was a stage, and we were like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, aren't you comedians? And that's That's enough. So we did improv. We were bullied into doing an improv set, which went okay, but people were a little inebriated. Uh, yeah. Uh, when everyone wear masks, that's good. I mean, I still don't want to like the main thing is obviously is travel, right? You can't travel to somebody's wedding. There are plenty of states where you can't go there. That they're just saying no. Or if you go, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, right? So that is a thing. That is obviously a deterrent for a lot of people to be able to do that. If it's a local thing, yeah. I mean, uh, if it's a local thing and people are, I don't know. I'm like, I'm so iffy on any outdoor stuff. I don't, I'm risk averse, particularly because I am living with my parents, and I just want to, right now, that's the situation I'm in right now, and I just want to keep them safe as possible, and I want to be safe as possible as well. Uh, but yeah, so that's the thing, like, uh, I've been trying to keep up all that social distancing, keep all that good, keep away from things. Only eaten outdoors at a restaurant once and didn't feel great about it, so I've tried to avoid that. Like I've been just trying my best. Like I'm walking for exercise. I walk. I mostly for exercise have been if it's possible, as far as they will go. Well, how do I do that? For walking and then like just try to stay out of people's way. It's a lot easier to walk in the suburbs than it is in the city and avoid people. So I was doing a lot of night walking when I was in New York. There are a bunch of places around me advertising last minute for small wedding planning. Yeah, because I think a lot. Look, hey, obviously, right? A lot of people were just like, "Well, we'll postpone the wedding because it's March," and now people are like, "When would we?" Yeah, no, I'm not. Ring Fit is not a current thing. I'm doing a lot of walking. It's very hot here, so walking has been tough. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. My new workout routine, which is actually working out pretty good for me. My workouts are working out. That was bad. You know what I mean. Okay, so these connected. These took a little while to get going. We'll get that going there, and now we'll build the. We'll finish up all this color here. Uh, Right? Yeah, if you have planning anxiety. Yeah. I mean, look, especially if you are trying to save money, imagine being like, yeah, hey, we're not going to do a big wedding. Everyone like obviously stay home. We're just going to get this done. Uh we'll do our best. Um but yeah. Let's see. This is Aether. So, as I said, I have been exercising. I've been walking like twice a week. I was walking every day, and it is very hot, and I do not enjoy it. And then I was like, well, maybe I could ride my dad's bike. Now it's been a long time since I rode a bike, and I felt okay about it. I was doing pretty good with it. But there's traffic, and I'm not super comfortable with it. Also, it's just very hot. So, remembered, for Christmas, my dad got this thing that basically turns a regular bike into a stationary bike. And so I've been doing that. And I'm just like, some days I'll listen to podcasts because I got a bunch of podcasts to listen to. It's a great time to do that. So that's been fun. Or I have an iPad mini and I will set that up in the garage and I have Bluetooth headphones so I can just watch some YouTube videos. Make a YouTube playlist and just have fun watching videos, and that has been good as well. Right now, I'm only biking for like a half an hour with a little bit of breaks. I want to build up to more, but basically, the half an hour is I am just sweat. I'm a pool of sweat because it's tough. I do understand, and wedding business is trying to do as safe as possible. Small wedding for folks. They can't go 6 months with no weddings. Yeah, big old world. I mean, that's the thing. I can appreciate anyone doing what they can and trying, especially if they're, trying to stay open, trying to be open. Like, I respect it, I understand it. I'm scared for people, but I understand that them wanting to if they can do it safely, then okay, and do it as safe as possible, and then hopefully, you just have to hope that people are going to be responsible and reasonable and do what they can. But yeah, I'm not. If I was in the same city or area as someone getting married, I would certainly, and I was invited to it, I would want a ton of information about that wedding before I made any kind of commitment. I would really need to know what the deal was. Like, I would need to have so much information before I put myself at risk, or put anyone at risk by me being there. Certainly, because it's not just about mitigating risk; it's also about like what's going on with me. I just bought a bike, and I really regret letting myself go without biking for so long. I could do 15-mile ride at the top of a hat, and now I'm struggling to get down my first street. You can't forget how to ride a bike. Be sure, lose the muscle memory. Yes, that's totally true, Mr. Bob, and I am definitely feeling that, where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember how to ride a bike. I kind of remember how to like get around, like jump up on curbs. Oh, I kind of remember like how to signal. I kind of remember how to brake without brake pedal, like hand brakes. Okay, and then like it's just the heat comes in. I do enjoy the low impact of biking compared to running, jogging, walking. So also, we had thunderstorm today. No rain, just thunder. But the skies got dark, and it definitely looked like it was gonna rain. But I was in the garage, so it was totally fine, and I could theoretically do it inside the house. But then I have to bring the bike in, and that's a whole other thing that I haven't really worried about. I've just been doing it in the garage. There's enough room for me to do that, and also I can get my water and bring it there. I have almost fallen in my gravel driveway every ride so far. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Bob. Yeah, it does take, you got to get back into it. It does take a little bit of effort to get back on there and to feel comfortable. But that's why I'm liking the stationary aspect of biking right now. It feels pretty good. Just got to get in there, roll around a bit, try to burn some calories. Do I sometimes hold my phone and kind of like move my arms as I'm pedaling, and my phone is open to Pokemon Go? Yes, because sometimes it doesn't really count it in my pocket while I'm biking. Also, I don't want my phone to fall out. But yes, I have been doing that because I think that's just, that's just what I'm doing, is trying to get that distance going. But I've been able to walk a little bit, and walking's just good for, it's a longer walk. That's just good to kind of mix things up, and then also, I've been stretching and trying to do all that, but I don't want to like pull anything and then feel like I can't continue to do stuff. Oh yeah, no, Mr. Bob, I could totally do that. To get a clip for my phone, I could definitely do that. There's a thing for a basket, but we don't have the basket on. But the platform is enough that I can rubber band my phone to it if I want to. Right now I have like my iPad like on a box that's near where I'm biking, so I can just look at that while I'm pedaling if I want to watch stuff, and it's like me being in the gym. Okay, so this part like this part goes down. As always, we're assembling it like this so that when we do the other one, it'll be a nice quick build for the leg, because we'll have figured out how this works. We did the feet at the same time because we're building from the bottom up. This is the traditional high grade and also master grade thing. Build the body, build the head, build the arms, or the torso I should say, and the chest. Then the last thing you build is the waist. You put it all together. You put on any backpack. You build any weapons. That's how this thing works. That is a classic build style. So it is not straining from the classics in any way here. B36. All cardio nonetheless. Yeah. There's a Japanese dude that has a setup to hold a dozen or more phones on his bike. Oh yeah, for efficient Pokemon Go play. I've seen people with like multiple phone things, like especially at the height of Pokemon Go, that had like multiple phones going, so they could go and catch stuff. There's not a lot of Pokemon to be caught in my area. Walking is good for that because there is a spot where they seem to show up. But a lot of times I'm just walking a lot to maybe catch a couple. And then on Friday, went to the CVS, first time going into a store in quite a while, because I had to get a birthday card, and I wanted to use the cash in my pocket, because I have some cash. So I got a ride to, and my dad also had to get a card, so we just went together. First time going to the store, as I said, in a bit, so that felt weird. But no Pokestops on that route. I was not able to. I could see them in the distance, but I'm not about to go, hey, Dad, go down this side street. I want to, and then slow down. I want to spin this Pokestop. Last Sunday, we went out for some stuff, and I went along and was able to spin 2 Pokestops, and that was good. You just need them, you just need them sometimes. I'll probably let it go at some point, but I still like the game, and it's still, especially with walking. Pokemon Go, yeah, they have a big event today, actually. There was a big thing. I didn't take part in it because I think it cost money, and I didn't pay attention to what it was, but there was a big festival thing. But yeah, I mean, especially in this time, there are people who are, like, they're only using their phones for Pokemon Go. And there was some stuff that they added, which has been really helpful for people like me who are just like wanting to keep doing it, but maybe don't want to go and be near people. But yeah, really, it just honestly, welcome to being a rural Pokemon Go player. Yeah, right? Honestly, it's really just about, for me anyway, getting out and giving myself an excuse to go out and walk. Maybe I'll walk a little farther today because I want to get that egg hatched. Or, like, oh, well, I haven't, do this. Like, well, I don't really want to go outside. Well, I do want to go and do this. And, of course, in New York it was, well, at least I want to go down the road to the closest Pokestop, which is not that far away. So at least I want to do that and get out of the house. Now it's like, since there are none, it is like, well, I just want to get exercise, and if I catch a Pokemon or 2, that would be fun, and hatch something. Caught a Pokemon down here that I hadn't seen in New York, so that was fun. A little leaf friend that I was like, oh, cool. So that was nice. But yeah, just kind of keep things going. It's pretty fun. Let's see. Haven't really been doing a lot of stuff the past 2 days. Usually on Saturday, I kind of don't have a lot going on, even when I've been busier. But I finished up a small little job, and hopefully they'll pay me soon, because that'll be good. Yeah, finished up a quick little gig that I was doing, some customer service stuff. So I'll give you this piece of advice. I have now worked for a couple companies doing customer support, right? And they're both these companies, one of which I've talked about in the past, but I don't necessarily want to name now. One of which I won't name because I'd like to work for them again, so I don't want to say their name in case there's an issue. I don't know if there'll be an issue. But here's my big secret, y'all. If you ever buy stickers from a company, like 2 stickers. Those companies where you can just they got stores set up and you can just open your own store within the company and they fulfill and take a cut of it and all that, and they got to approve the stuff. Those companies, there's a bunch of them, right? You get t-shirts, mugs, and all that for your store on a site. Stickers aren't made everywhere. Generally, stickers, most of these companies only have like one of their many locations. They have several locations, and they ship out from those locations. but they usually only have one, maybe two locations that do stickers. So those are often separate. Those are separate envelopes. And those envelopes are very small. And those envelopes bounce out of boxes. This is even before the unfortunate slowdown that is happening with the United States Postal Service, which is a real thing, unfortunately, that is happening. Beyond that at all, when you look at the just the traditional postal, old school Postal Service stuff, a little package of stickers just gets lost constantly. Just constantly gets lost. So, if you ever are like, it's like a couple days since I was supposed to get my stickers, or, well, this tracking thing says that it was handed off, but there was no update. It's lost. And here's the thing. They'll just send it to you again. They'll confirm your address because they only want to send them once or twice. And then they'll ask you for a new address. But they assume that stickers are just going to be lost. Shipping is still hit or miss now. Yeah, Mr. Bob, it certainly is. So I've been trying to be on top of it. I'm right now a little short at the end of the month. I'm trying to figure things out. It'll be okay. But with the first, let's see, when is the first? So, with the first being a Saturday, I'm not going to get a payout from PayPal, not PayPal. My Patreon payout won't be till Monday at the earliest, and it'll probably be later. So that Monday at the earliest. So so that's gonna be a problem. My PC parts were all supposed to come through last week. Yeah, it's just shipping is kind of tough, so I'm a little worried. Amazon still has some of their own delivery things happening, especially if you're in areas where they have that's near one of their fulfillment centers. So that's a little better than some folks have it, but it's still not great. It's still all over the place and certainly not great. So my condolences to anybody that deals with a lot of stuff. Yeah, Amazon is applicable to Amazon has been the most okay so far, and of course, if you're doing FedEx or UPS, things are pretty all right. Just got Amazon delivery in my area. Yeah. So I got the Lego set I didn't know was coming because someone bought it off my wish list. The Lego set I just built, the ice cream truck, came on a Sunday, and my mom was like, "We don't get mail on Sundays." I'm like, "That's not the post office. That's Amazon." But yeah, they came on a Sunday because that's what they do. It's one of the things they do. So that's been okay. But really, particularly about stickers, I'm actually in the market for stickers, and I just got a new work laptop. Sticker policy needs violating. Hell yeah. But so those big sites, your Redbubble, those kind of sites. I say Redbubble because I've never worked for them. Stickers make them so much money. Stickers make them the markup and the profit on stickers is so much that they do not care if they have a bunch of non-delivereds. They want to make sure that if you say you got the wrong shirt, that you take a photo so they can blame the printer for making a mistake, or if there's a clearly error, they want to pass off the buck to somebody else. But if you just hey, I didn't get my stickers, they're just going to be like, okay, we'll send you out more. So that's my big sticker reveal for you all. Peel back the curtain on stickers. Kind of sad that the Ka sticker with the big goofy dog on it is gone now. Yeah. I still have my sticker that I love very much. That I'm very happy about. I still have my Kate Leth made a sticker that says "Dogs should be able to vote," which is a Monster Factory quote that I love very much, and that is covering up the Alienware thing on my laptop because I do conventions, and I will again someday, I guess, maybe. And if I do conventions again, And was, like, I'm not free advertising for Alienware. Forget that. But I will free advertise for Monster Factory, I guess. 4 dozen for free from promotion. Calvin and Hobbes. I believe Mr. Bob was referencing. I believe Mr. Bob was referencing the. I don't actually. Maybe I don't know. I assumed it meant Cards Against Humanity, but the lowercase a makes me think you don't mean Cards Against Humanity. So I actually don't know what Mr. Bob was referring to. Oh, yes. Calvin and Hobbes sticker. Okay. What sort of dog would be the dog president of the United States? I mean, it was from their Feel Good podcast thing. Oh, okay, yeah. I assumed, you meant Cards Against Humanity. I assumed that if a dog was going to be president, that it would be a golden retriever, because that's a dog that America can get behind, or a bulldog wearing sunglasses on a skateboard, because also America loves that. I mean, we like dogs, but those are like big dogs that people can get behind. But if you have a bulldog with sunglasses on, I mean that might get that may just get my vote. Mr. Peanut Butter for president, right? Yeah, indeed. So sometimes these little connectors here come right off, and sometimes they don't want to come off, and you actually have to use snipper clips, and that always feels weird. It always feels a little odd to use snipper clips on these little connectors. But while I'm here, I know I'm going to need 2 of them, so I'll do both of them. Get them done. We will take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. If you're new to the stream, pause for the cause just means that I'm going to talk about ways you can support the stream if you'd like, but you're in no obligation to do so. I'll also promote a couple videos that I made that I think are worth checking out if you like that, because I do make, I have a weekly video series, and I have a every other week video series, because I can never remember if bi-weekly is that or not. I forget. But I have a semi-monthly video series that I do. So I'll be promoting those things. And also talk about ways you can support the channel. But that'll be in a minute or two. Mastiffs for Congress. I think other nations would respect the bulldog with sunglasses. Indeed. Yes, it's a pause for the cause. Indeed. Well, now I'm looking at knockoff Gundam stickers on Amazon. Hell yeah, you are. Hell yeah, you are. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yeah, no, I do think that people would be like, "Oh, that bulldog is wearing sunglasses." All right. But yeah, we'll do. Pause though, for real. Yes, pause. But yes, yeah, a pause in the action is kind of what we mean by that. I believe pause for the cause is a radio term for when they're going to stop playing music in order to run commercials. I believe that's where I picked up that term, was from radio. But it feels like, instead of constantly, yeah, on a skateboard, right? Instead of constantly like breaking the action to talk about it, I just do my one thing towards, the middle, direct center of the stream. And then early on, we figured out that was when, after that, I was going to talk about anime, or the current anime. Because sometimes we'll talk about like classic stuff, like, Gundam stuff comes up a lot. Makes sense. Or, someone will say something about some show, and we'll talk about that show. But generally, when it comes to current stuff that I've watched since the last build stream, then we just like talk about it as I'm going. Wait, what happened here? So that's the arms. Got legs there. Put that together like that. B2. No, not. I put the wrong. I didn't put a piece in. I goofed this up very badly. I was like, why is this wrong? I like the color scheme of this build. Yeah, I do too. I think the pink and the maroon. I mean, you can see it way better. Like, well, the lighting, obviously, in the photo is way better than that. But like, I think that if this is all maroon, it would just feel like an Epion knockoff. But I really like the color scheme of this kit, so I agree. All right, I forgot a piece, so I got to pop that in. I'm going to finish by popping this piece in, and then we will take our pause for the cause in just a moment. Talk about ways you can support what I do here. But you don't have to, but you can if you want to. So yeah, getting my toolkit opened up. Gonna go and pop this open, try to find a place. This is a 3-prong thing, so I just have to be gentle with it because I don't want to break any of these connections here. Connectors, I should say, not connections. Yeah, so I just want to pry this open gently and then rock it open the rest of the way. Great, didn't break anything. That's a victory. But yeah, I just totally spaced and didn't put a piece in here. And then also put in something backwards, so hooray. Fixed 2 mistakes in 1. There we go. I was looking at the step ahead, and I was like, this does not look right. Because I had messed up. Okay, so we'll move on to step, I don't know, more of step 8 in a moment. But it's time for a pause for the cause. Now, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. Let the people know you're currently a subscriber. The Scythe emote is for Tier 2 and Tier 3 subscribers, not for Tier 1. Tier 1 has the Bear Cave and the Lego emote. But thank you so much to everyone who was a subscriber. Appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Folks that use their cash money, folks that use their Twitch Prime because they have their Amazon Prime connected. I was distracting. You were not distracting. I have to manage chat and building, and it is a thing that I'm generally pretty good at, but sometimes I slip. Especially when I was thinking ahead to what's coming, which is talking about ways to support the stream. So yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you link it with your Twitch. You get Twitch Prime. You get rewards sometimes. But the big reward is that you can, incredibly, use a token. And it's just like cash. Like, I get the same cut I would if you do that or not. So that is nice. Is the best emote. I appreciate that. Xandra. Xandra on Twitter. Xandra Van Chestine made all of my emotes. And I love them so much. I love using the Pat Death Scythe emote as my icon, and also the Pat Lego emote. I think they're very fun. Someday I'll do another one, but that's when I am able to pay her, because I pay her to do emotes. So I need to have money that I don't want to spend, enough money to spend on kits to build, and then also have some money to spend on emotes. But there'll be a third emote coming at some point, or a 4th emote, but a 3rd for Tier 1. Anyway, so doing this helps a lot. Gifting subs. If you want to gift subs, you could do that, and that helps me out a lot. If you want to bits and coins, always appreciated. There's a leaderboard. But yeah, if you wanted to gift a sub to somebody in chat, that would be great. They get some cool emotes. You're helping me out. We're going to get back to building again, as I said, but just going to talk about some ways you can support the channel if that's what you would like to do. If you can, of course, yeah. And that's the thing, right? You don't owe me anything. I have a Patreon because maybe a $1 tier or a $3 tier works better for you, or you'd rather not give Twitch any money at all. But Patreon, you're like a little less mad about that. But I have $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers on Patreon, and that's another way to support me. I just put up today a Q&A video because I make a Q&A video that only my patrons get. And they ask me questions. Usually it's like 2 to 3 questions that I make. It's very low key. I did it. I downloaded this new background image just to mix things up because I was tired of the old one. But I did that for that video, and now that's my new background image because I like doing that now and again. Also, I have a Coffee and a Streamlabs and a PayPal, and if you donate any money, like if you'd like, whenever you'd like, during a stream, if you donate to any of those, it goes to me buying model kits and equipment, and that's what your Patreon money goes to. That's what your Twitch money goes to. If I ever make another $100 on YouTube because it's just going to take forever, especially with ads this in 2020. With ad revenue going down and me not having convention videos because I don't have a video with a big name in it at a convention to then put on my YouTube and have like 7,000 views. Oh, the days of that. My first payout came, yeah, it's all connected to that. But my first payout came because I had like a year where I had like 3 very big panels at PAX and like good guests at each one, and it really just like, ooh, that was a good year. But all of it goes me to buying kits and equipment and to continue on. Now, I bought this kit that I'm building right now with my own hard-earned money off my Amazon wish list because the wish list is stuff that I think is cool. You could buy something off my wish list and I'll build it on stream. You don't have to. Again, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to chat. You can just lurk and watch. You can have it on your TV while you do other things, while you do your own building or hang out or do whatever. But I do have an Amazon wish list. I'm going to quickly just mention a few things in there. I got some 3-in-1 kits. Now, those are inexpensive because they're like only 150 pieces or 140 pieces. But it's a 3-in-1, so I'm going to build it, disassemble, build it, disassemble, build it. It's the best bang for your buck for a Lego set. So, I put a few of those in there because they're inexpensive as the thing. If people want to build it, you'll jump the queue. I'll build it as soon as it comes in. I've got the Impulse Gundam Arc, which is the other part of this is the Impulse Gundam Lancer. So it's the same, very similar kit, different colors, different weapons, but like you can take the waist off this and put the waist on that one. So they interchange. There's some art that tells it. We'll look at the end of the stream on that, which is a very fun nonsense thing that you can just do with that kit. So I put the other half of that kit up there. Lots of high grades up there because they're inexpensive comparatively. Some real grades, some master grades, a bunch of different stuff. I try to run a lot of different things in there. And if you buy it, it jumps to the queue. I make a little video that I put out. It's not unboxing, but just showing off the box and mentioning it and thanking. So you can leave a message if you want. You don't have to. Then I have USA Gundam Store. USA Gundam Store is an alternative. That's just like an owned and operated store out of Florida. You could buy a gift card. Oops, I forgot the exclamation point on there. Sorry. You go there, buy a gift card, and then whisper me here on Twitch or DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open, and say like, hey, I bought you this card. And you could even be like, I bought you this card. And someone said, I bought you this gift card. Please buy the Cup of Noodle model kit and build that. And I pre-ordered the Cup of Noodle model kit. And when it comes in October, September, I forget. I have it written down. When it comes in October, I'm going to build that cup noodle kit. And then that's because somebody was just like, hey, I want you to build this. So you can make requests. And if I haven't built it before, maybe I will. Gets built after receiving, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I got to get it first, and then I build it. But it jumps to the queue. So if I have a bunch of stuff that I bought that I want to build, and then you buy something off my wish list, or have me buy something at USA Gundam Store, that takes priority because you want me to build it, and I want to build it. I have a Discord. You join my Discord. Also, hey, if you're watching this after the fact on the VOD, or you can check the chat for all these links. If you're watching this later on YouTube, it's all in the show description. Thank you. You don't have to watch things live. I like it when you watch it live. I like the numbers to be high. But you can also watch it on VODs after the fact if this isn't going to work out for you. One night a week, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. If one of those nights doesn't work, do whatever you want. If you're on the West Coast, I understand that for me, 9 to 11. For you, is 6 to 8. That's early. So I understand that some people on the West Coast wish that I would start a little later, but some people on the East Coast are glad I don't start any later than I do. But also, folks that are watching on YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. Please don't click away when the ads start. Let's see. So I mentioned I got a Discord. Yeah, it's very chill. I post a build photo at the end of every stream to keep people up to date what's going on with me. People post photo in the build photos section of things they're working on, kits they're working on, or if they're doing like a 3D printing thing, or if they're doing like building IKEA furniture, whatever, woodworking. Cool. It's very low key, People are like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this, and they'll show like a link to something. And they can also promote themselves, because if you want to watch other people that are in chat are also streamers, like Harold, who is watching another thing and isn't here right now. But there are a few of you that do some streams, and it's nice to support people. All right, a couple of videos I want to link you to, then we'll get back to building. Let's see. First and foremost, Pat Baer's Anime Club. This past Monday's episode, I put out an episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club talking about websites I use to find out about upcoming anime and also track the anime that's currently happening. So talking about looking at calendars, looking at things ahead of time. So like if you were waiting for the fall schedule, or if you were like, what's on like today, like what's streaming in Japan or what's coming on television in Japan, and like what channels are they, like what streaming service are they on here in the States, like, hey, I heard about this show, I don't know how to watch it. Like that should definitely help people who do ask me. They're like, I don't know, how do you find stuff? And so I kind of answered that. And then Pat Baer, Baering the List, not Pat Baer. I have a Pat Baer's Anime Club and Baering the List. Baering the List is the thing where I use Tier Maker. This one someone suggested I do, and it's about sandwiches. I rank a bunch of sandwiches, and some people really agree with me, and some people think that I made some poor choices. Sorry, I don't like tomatoes. I don't. So if the big part of your sandwich, if 1/3 of your sandwich is tomato, meh. But grilled cheese, yeah, I mean grilled cheese is incredible. I love a grilled cheese. I had a grilled cheese the other day. I did a grilled cheese on some potato bread. It was very good. That's some good cheese. Grilled cheese. Okay. Boo to tomatoes. Yeah, I don't like tomatoes. I like marinara sauce. I like ketchup. I don't like tomatoes. Especially raw tomatoes. Not the biggest fan. Just not my thing. If you like them, hell yeah, more tomatoes for you. But like, I'm never going to love a BLT. I'm never going to love a BLT. Because one of the letters is, tomato. So she's not there. What we got here? Oh. Okay, there's a lot of reboot talk on my feed, because I posted a thing about reboot yesterday, and apparently there's a virtual convention dedicated to reboot, the cartoon, the 3D cartoon series done by Mainframe Entertainment. But there is a lot of talk about that. Big question with grilled cheese. Mayo or butter on the bread? And did you agree with Kate Stark as far as dipping the sandwich? Epic open world. BLM is without tomato. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's get back to building. We're going to talk about anime because it's time to talk about anime. But first, we're going to talk a little bit of sandwiches, and then I'm going to share my reboot facts with you because it's a fun fact. So, talking about, I use mayonnaise. Now, mayonnaise is mayonnaise was adapted in restaurants because it is faster, because it is spreadable, because you don't have to leave butter to hit room temperature, so that you're not ruining your piece of bread with cold, like butter. If you have margarine, if you have a really spreadable butter, certainly. But if you don't have that, if your butter is a stick and it's cold because it was in the fridge, that's not good on your bread. You don't want holes in your bread. You don't want to you want to cover the entire surface. So mayonnaise is faster. Also, it doesn't burn as easily. Oh, that's kind of fun about Jersey Mike's. I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. I like that. That's kind of neat. But that's my opinion. So I go with mayonnaise because it is just easier. It spreads conveniently, and then also when you're putting you do your one, and then you put it on, you flip onto the pan, and then you got to cover the top piece of bread with something. with mayonnaise or whatever. It's easier to put the mayonnaise on there on that. And it was your hand over the skillet, not skittle. You don't cook grilled cheese over a skittle. You could, I guess, but I would not recommend it. Uh, but yeah, that's my philosophy on grilled cheese. Is just do it. Uh, just use mayo. It is fast. It is easy. I think that just works uh, on a grilled cheese. But if you've got a margarine, you got an imitation butter that can go on there, or you are of the part of the world that does not keep butter in the fridge, then you probably don't need to worry about that. But if you got real cold stick of butter, forget that. Don't waste your time with that. I don't like mayo, but I like aioli. It's silly. It's a different thing. It can be a different thing. I don't know. Let people like what they like, and let people decide they don't like a thing with evidence to the contrary. Oh, I don't like sour cream. Oh, really? Well, I was seeing you eat French onion dip over there. You eating a lot of onion dip. What do you want to know what's in onion? Don't tell people. They're like, don't tell me what is in this. I'm always that. Those are the people that I'm always like, okay. Like, don't tell me a thing that I've decided I don't like is in this thing that I like. That's where I kind of draw the line a little bit, where I'm like, all right, y'all, all right. Um, let's see. Hold here and insert. Okay. I want to say this fact. We're going to get into anime talk because that is what we do at this time of stream. But I do want to say before we do that, I want to tell you about Mainframe Entertainment. They are a Canadian. They were, I guess, at the time anyway, a Canadian-based 3D graphics company in 3D animation. So that is what they did. Sometimes you like one combo ingredient over the other somewhere. Yeah, that's not wrong. So they made Reboot. They made Beast Wars Transformers. They did another thing called Shadow something or other that I cannot remember the full title name of, but they did work on that as well. They made a few things. Reboot did very well for them. That show did very well for that company. And one of the ways they expressed their gratitude to their staff was that not everyone, but a lot of people got hockey jerseys with the Megabyte logo. Megabyte, the main villain of Reboot. So they all, a lot of the people in the company had hockey jerseys. And this is a fact that not a lot of fans of Reboot knew, but we're very happy to hear about. In one of the DVDs, there is of Reboot. There is a bonus feature that is the making of Reboot, and it features them heavily wearing these hockey jerseys, and including a moment where they all go out on the ice, and it is very Canadian and very cool. I remember watching that documentary because Netflix, when you really wanted to get a series, you just got the DVDs, right? Well, in the early days of Netflix, they just got the same DVDs that you would get in the store. Eventually, they would stop doing that, and they would have their own versions of it, like rental versions, and you wouldn't get like the bonus features and stuff. But at the time, you could. So I got the Reboot DVDs to get all the bonus features and the making of and all that cool stuff that you didn't get later, which was a bummer, especially if you were super into a show. Those early CG TV shows were pushing limits. Yes, certainly, Mr. Bob. But that and News Radio. I remember getting all of the News Radio DVDs because those episode commentaries were incredible. They had some with a lot of cast, but usually it would just be like Dave Foley and Stephen Root watching this episode and talking about it, or they would put like Joe Rogan and Andy Dick together to talk about an episode that was featured them, or like the creator and Dave Foley sitting down. And it was like it's just they're very good like behind the scenes uh, commentary. Apple is keeping bonus features alive. Yeah, I missed News Radio. It's a great show. Yeah, fantastic. The watching it all again on Blu-ray was really nice because not Blu-ray, DVD at the time was really nice because A&E was showing reruns, but they didn't show every episode. There would be some episodes they just end up skipping, or they would jump a season, or then they get to the season that like they would get to some of the John Lovett seasons, and like, look. Do I think that season is great? No. Do I like the idea of a other billionaire coming in? No, I don't enjoy that season. But there is no way that John Lovitz was going to. No one can replace Phil Hartman, and certainly not John Lovitz. And John Lovitz wasn't trying to replace Phil Hartman. John Lovitz was just trying to be on a television show. So I have no ill will towards him, especially because he, yeah. Also punched Andy Dick in the face once, which I think is incredible. The VCDs I ripped during Netflix mail disc era. Indeed, right? Sometimes you gotta do it. Anyway, it's time to talk about anime. So let's hit the old Nightbot command for anime into chat. There we go. Nightbot command. Here are the shows that I watched since Thursday. My biggest anime talk like is Saturday because I have 3 shows that come out on Friday and 1 show that comes out on Saturday. So I actually have a lot. It's like the most shows I have to talk about. Third Rock from the Sun. Oh, way ahead of its time. Incredible. One of the although one show is coming back on Tuesday. Diary of Our Days at Breakwater will have a new episode finally because of the hiatus it went on. It restarted its episodes and it's back to new episodes. So I'm going to have 4 shows to talk about on Thursday. I'm very excited about that. So let's talk about Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. Hey, this show rules. There's not much slice of life this season. It is a comedy it's a little ecchi. It's occasionally but it is aware of that. I would say that like the second episode, last week's episode, had like a moment that was like, oh, that sucks. Come on. This episode didn't have any moments like that. But like also these are goddamn, these are college kids, so like I don't care that one of them's short and busty and the dude she's like, I want to hang out at your apartment, and he's like, no, we can't do that. Why do you think that would be cool? Like you're like, yeah, I mean, they're college kids, so I'm way more okay with it being a little ecchi, a little dirty, because it's not really, because it's mostly about a loner dude in college that has resting bastard face, that people are kind of scared of, but also like kind of likes his privacy, and he was on a swim team with her in high school. She's now in college with him, and she is the feisty, goofy, short and stacked friend that is maybe has a little feelings for him, but probably doesn't really, or isn't aware of them, and is mostly just like wanting to like force her senpai into doing some cool shit and hanging out with her. We also are introduced to, so he works part-time at a coffee shop, and we met the owner last week, and we found out that the reason he opened a coffee shop is so that he can kind of like eavesdrop on strangers' lives, and kind of like he likes that. Well, we meet his daughter, who works there part-time, also goes to college, the same college, and she's a chip off the old block. She's a little bit more like maybe into him, like maybe wants to date our dude. I don't know. Maybe she just wants to like lust at him from afar, and I'm totally okay with that because that's just like whatever, sure. But mostly she's there. We found out to be another person that just wants to see this relationship happen or not happen, because they're just both like father like daughter. They're just both into whatever this is going to be, and watching it unfold and watching their interactions. He gets sick, and Uzaki takes care of him, makes food, hangs out. It's punctuated by her being like, "I'll stay until you fall asleep," and he's like, "Oh, that was really sweet, and it was nice to have someone to help look after me." And then that's punctuated by her being like yelling as she's playing his video game and just like not letting him sleep. And it was cute. There's a little bit more to the episode. It was mostly just like a really cute, fun thing. Adults of age have sex feelings. It's okay because they are adults. Epic open world, because we'll talk about a show where it's like, oh, you had your first kiss with this 2,000-year-old demon, the demon lord, on your 15th birthday, 2 days before your 15th birthday. And you're like, they're 15, okay. I mean, all right, fine. They're demons. Okay, whatever. But this show, it's like, yeah, these are high school kids, or college kids, I'd say. They're college kids. They're interested in one another. Whatever. Maybe they're not interested in one another. We'll find out. We assume that they are, or at least one of them is. But it's just the banter between the two. And yeah, it is, so far anyway, a very cute series. It is on Funimation. I know, just wish they would just decide not to sexualize underage girls. Yeah, I know that. And I agree with you, Epic Home World. I feel ya on that. Yeah. Yeah, it would just be nice if that was the standard. Be real nice. So we got a so that show's great. That's on Funimation. Right now I'm only watching a few things on Funimation, but I will say that two of the shows I most enjoy watching are on Funimation. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out and Decadence. Those are literally, and I could watch Fire Force on Funimation because it's on both Funimation and Crunchyroll. This, and also Diary of Our Days at Breakwater is coming back, and that is also a Funimation show. And that show was the reason I eventually got Funimation, because it wasn't coming to, is this the wrong one? Yeah. It wasn't coming to Hulu, which I had at the time. And I was like, oh, well, I can't watch that. So I'll get it on this other thing. I don't know if it's a Japanese culture thing, but I thought the whole I can't have her coming out of my apartment, what would people think about it, was weird. It's college, dude. Lashbrook, I mean, that is part of like who this guy is. He just thinks too hard about stuff. And sometimes it's accurate because doesn't think about anything. But I think he is just too worried about everything. He is a college person that is too worried about what people think, because I think part of it is that he's been let down by what people think, because he does have that angry look, right? That is a common especially in romantic shows, to show why a main character dude doesn't have things together, even though it looks like he should have everything together, is that like he looks mean. He mean mugs without intentionally. So I think that he is a loner because he has been let down by what people think. So he's just overly critical about that. But yeah, I mean, it's college. Like, no one is going to think weirdly. Maybe his neighbors will be like, hey, what's going on with this girl that keeps coming to your apartment? But yeah, he's probably just being too much of it. Yeah, it's not that. It's not that. I would say like the cultural stuff in there, I think, is like, it's mostly like, I think, him being hurt more than it is like any sort of thing about Japan, or the Japanese culture or anything like that. I think it's mostly just him being like overly critical or thinking too much about it. So that show's great. Food Wars. Lame ass characters. I tweeted about this today. Holy shit, y'all. So, uh, oh yeah, it's here. Sorry. So I tweeted about this today, and I stand by it because I didn't watch Food Wars till today. So there's the big bads that came. Dunk EXE is now following. Thank you very much for that follow, Dunk. Also, Funimation is now 2 weeks behind on Fire Force, and it's a bummer. Yeah, I think that's because they're trying to catch up on dubs. Lashbrook, I don't know. Like I said, I think the Crunchyroll browser player is better than the Funimation browser player, because I know that for mobile it's different, and for Xbox Crunchyroll's thing isn't great. But if you're just watching like in Chrome, I'm watching everything on. I would if I can, if it's on both, I'm going to watch on Crunchyroll because I think that it's a better experience, in my opinion. In my opinionation. Anyway, so Food Wars. There's Blue. This Blue tournament that used to happen is coming back, but there's going to be some new rules to it, and it's going to be different. And they invited Noir, this loose cabal of underworld chefs, people that do cooking on the edge and work for unsavory types, and there are no laws. And it's whatever. And they have terrible disguises. And you were like, is this going to be a cult? It's not a cult, but they were wearing terrible disguises before. And now they can be revealed for who they really are. And it's all very lame-looking characters. There's just like so much lame. We have done some papercraft. We've done some Miyazaki papercraft things that have come out that look really nice. They're little tiny little kits, little scenes. We did a Totoro set. I haven't done a lot of papercraft. There's some on my wish list. I wouldn't mind doing it again. It could be tough work, but I do enjoy the challenge of it, and it is also just a little different. So I have done some papercraft. We're mostly model kits around here and Lego, but yeah, a little bit now and again. All right, so we got to do our big backpack thing. This kit has a big old weird backpack thingy, so we'll put that together now. Yeah, they all look real lame. I posted a photo from the manga, which also did not include lady who was wearing military gear, vague military gear, and old man bartender. But it's my joke was that it seems very clear that the creator of Food Wars in this last season ran out of cool characters. Publicly available papercraft? Oh yeah, it can be printed out by anyone. Yeah, I mean there's so the papercraft I did, this Miyazaki stuff that is a kit that comes with all the pieces you need and the colors, and it's a little bit like a cardboard paper, and it comes with little plastic or little like fuzz stuff to make grass and stuff like that. I got it on Amazon, Dunk. I'm sure that other sites have stuff that might be cheaper. But I got mine on Amazon. And I think they're like cool little things that are fun. I again, like I said, I wouldn't mind doing it again because it was a cool. It was cool to do. I've only done 2 of them, but they were pretty fun. Anyway, these characters are bad, and the main guy just doesn't look. It's not that interesting. I'm mostly in it because, as I said, my favorite minor character in Food Wars is Megumi, and she is in this competition, so that I was like, okay, well, that'll be pretty good. There was an old man with a gun in this episode. That's pretty okay. And some dishes, and we learned more about the tournament, and it's tiered, and then, like, it's very clear that whoever is running this thing is in league somewhat with, let me look it up, Dunk. Someone is in league with noir, which is why they're there. It's all probably part of some bigger plot beyond the dude that wants revenge, somewhat revenge. So I will link you to the cat bus, which you could, if you wanted to, look and see some other ones. There's some other ones there. I haven't done the cat bus. I did the Mononoke one, and I did the Totoro one. But there are a bunch, but I'll link it here in chat. And you can see what the cat bus. I did another Totoro one. But yeah, there's a link to Amazon there. Studio Ghibli, they're mini ones. And they are mini. They're small. But you can probably use that as a guide for other websites if you want to check other crafting websites or whatnot to look for that. But also, hey, thank you so much for that gift. I'm going to hit the old applause there. Let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Thank you for gifting a sub. Welcome. That's rad. Always appreciated. Gifting subs is a great way to support the channel. So thank you so much for that. Welcome. But yeah, we got to build this backpack thing here. Weird backpack thing. Here's a weird thing. My motherboard comes with a WinRAR license, so now I own a valid copy of WinRAR. Whoa. Dunk, I don't remember how tall it is. I'm sorry. It's small. This is a mini thing. I don't know if there's larger, but it's small. But I don't remember the height of it. You'll have to find that information for yourself. Because yeah, that is not just something I remember off the top of my head. But the ones I'm linking to, the one I linked to, those kits are mini. They're pretty tiny. I'm sure there are bigger ones for anime stuff. Those are just the ones I knew about, and I did have fun building it. WinRAR license, and I own a valid copy of WinRAR. That is very weird. That is a weird thing. One, that's a weird thing to just get. Like a weird thing to be included with a motherboard. Yeah, that's weird. That is a weird deal. Well, congratulations, I guess, Mr. Bob. Okay, so Food Wars, it was fine. It was a fine episode. It's doing okay. Let's talk about a show that I don't think is doing okay. What's up? What's up with fucking Fire Force? Was the action good in this episode? Yes, it was very good. The fight scenes were great. Overall, I loved some of the support. We got some characters from the first season that we haven't seen in a while coming to help out. That was cool. So here's the thing, right? Our main dude, he's the fourth pillar. There have only been the fifth pillar just happened. When there are 8 pillars, a big bad thing is going to happen, I guess, right? So that's a thing that we've learned. Third pillar is his younger brother. He was awakened before. They were kind of both awakened together in that. The second pillar is this evil lady who, at the age of 5, created a bunch of chaos that led to the turn. She's a nightmare. The first pillar is some sort of eternal force presented as a woman. I appreciate that, Dunk. Thank you very much. That's weird. So that is a weird thing. And now the fifth pillar is someone who almost died and now is chasing that feeling. She almost died and gave up, but then didn't die in these fires, right? Fire Force stuff. And then didn't die, so now she's chasing that feeling. And I want this show to treat any of its women well. Any one of them. The best they do is the sister character who has no personality and nothing going on with her. They treat her the best. Because there's the girl from the other league in this episode. She is the character that we're talking about Fire Force Season 2 here. She's the character that has, she's strong, but has unfortunate accidents where her clothes come off all the time. That's her character trait. And it happened in this one, and they like joke about it in a shitty way, and I'm just sick of that part of it. Then there's the character who is actually very strong and kicks ass. But oh yeah, CR stands for Crunchyroll. Fun stands for Funimation. And then when I you answered your own question. Cool. Yeah. So Uzaki-chan is on Funimation. Food Wars is on Crunchyroll. Fire Force is on both Crunchyroll and Funimation, but I guess Funimation is behind on new episodes. And then we'll talk about the Misfit of the Demon King Academy, which is the next thing we talk about. Once I'm done complaining about Fire Force, and then there's a female character who's very strong, but she gets mad when people say that she's very strong, and I guess that's probably the best because she actually has stuff going on. But any woman that is really strong in that series, really powerful, is also evil, and I just wish it was better. Like I said, there was stuff to like about this. There are cool characters that came back that I was really psyched to see again. That we hadn't seen in a while, and that was cool. And there was some good action, and Shinra is gonna figure out his finishing move, and that's cool. But for the most part, it's just kind of a bummer of a show. And I want it to be better than it is because I really like it. And I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. It's not a show that I'm looking forward to, which sucks because I was looking forward to the first season. I think the episodes of the first season really drew my eye and really made me want to watch every part of it. And I'm just not feeling that with this season. And I think a large part of it is just this character, the Inca, the fifth pillar, has just been introduced in a way that I was just yeah, she's gonna side with the evil people because she's messed up. She had traumatic experience and isn't a good person. Okay, let's get to that, I guess. Cool. Yeah, it's just kind of a bummer. Wish it was better than it is. It isn't. Anyway, we're going to build two of these. So I got to build this, and then we'll build the second one here. Anyway, let's go to talk about a show that is good, that I enjoy quite a bit. The Misfit of Demon King Academy. Well, I was saying that not a Hall of Fame contender watch given this showing. Yeah, I would say. But also there's not, the other shonen show that I watch that's on right now is One Piece, and One Piece is pretty good. I'm not watching Boruto right now. I probably will get caught up in the future, but I don't think that Boruto's filler is good. So I don't really watch the filler, but we're starting a new fighting arc, so I'll probably get caught up, binge my way through the filler, marathon my way through the filler, and then get back into it. But anyway, so Misfit of Demon King Academy. We got all our answers that we needed. We were so it is a guy who 2,000 years ago gave up his life to separate the demon realm from the other realms to bring lasting peace. He has reincarnated himself. He's going to the Demon King Academy, but no one remembers his name. Something happened, and nobody remembers his name. They remember another name, and they're not sure what's going on. And in fact, one of the demons that he left in charge when he went away, says that he doesn't remember him and doesn't have memories of what happened. So it's weird. Anyway, he meets a girl, the first episode. She's nice. She's very quiet. We meet her sister. Her sister joins the crew. They're almost 15 years old, and what's going to happen at 15? Well, Misha's going to die when they turn 15. The end of the first day of 15. So it turns out there was this big experiment to make a higher class of demon to, I guess, house the Demon King, which he is. So they took a person, split them apart, fused them with different demons so that eventually they would fuse together and be one powerful demon again. And he's just like, yeah, I'll just change that. We'll go and mess with the laws of time and fix that. Meanwhile, the guy that did it, who said that he didn't remember him, comes back and attacks him. And then they go to mess with time, and turns out the god of time, I forget the character's name, is just like, hey, you can't do that. And then there's this big fight. So if you've been like, there wasn't a lot of fighting in the last episode, I'm surprised this show about this guy, all-powerful guy, who comes back, you'd think there'd be more fighting. It's really just about these two sisters. That's kind of interesting. Well, there was definitely... It's still about the two sisters, but there's also a lot of fighting. And now they both believe him that he is the reincarnation. And turns out, at some point, one of his, the person that did all this was killed, and a new source was grafted onto him, and he was like taken over. And we don't know who did it, but it's probably the person that is the fake named Demon Lord. So that's probably what's going on. That's what we think is happening. We're not sure, but that's what we think is happening. So there's some stuff going on, and there's some good story stuff. So this, I'm going to let you know right now, y'all, this thing pops right off. This thing is not great. It only rests here, and it has a little bit of movement, but it comes off very easily. So that's not great. And these side skirts are really weird, and I would not call them great, because they do limit movement, because they're just kind of big and bulky and weird. But they're important for the transformation thing that we'll get to at some point. But yeah, I would say that Misfit of Demon King Academy is not for everyone, because it is in some ways probably not a great kit. In other ways, not a great show. I'm saying kit. In some ways, it is not a great show. In other ways, it is a very good show. Because I like shows like that. So far, it is the Irregular at Magic School without the weird relationship between the two main characters that you're like, hey, why is this happening like this? The biggest Lego set I have. So I have it's the 2011, my brain decided to have a moment there. It is the 2011 Millennium Falcon is the biggest Lego set that I have. I forget the number of pieces. It's a lot. It's not the biggest Millennium Falcon. It's not the hundreds and hundreds of dollars one. It is the 2011 Millennium Falcon, which features old Han Solo in it. And that is the biggest Lego set that I have built. I usually don't go for the giant, huge booklet, 8 booklet kind of kits. I usually go for, like 500-piece kits or to 1,000-piece kits, but that one was a special one, and it was a very long, good build. I enjoyed that kit, that build very much, but that is the biggest one I have. So yeah, the Demon King, yeah, that one's fine. I think Uzaki-chan is a good one if you're looking for something a little different. I think that as it is a romantic comedy series, it's different than the other stuff that I'm watching. I think that's good. Speaking of anime, on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, my bonus stream. So next Wednesday, my weekly bonus stream when I do stuff that is not model kit building will be all anime talk, and it will be a live recorded episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, which will be my summer review, talking about the shows that have come out this season and some of the ones that have returned, and my thoughts on those shows. And I'll go through all of them and talk about the shows that I'm watching and the ones that I don't, as of right now, I don't think I've given up on any shows yet. I mean, there are a few that I just chose not to watch. Like, I stopped watching like halfway through. There are definitely a couple of those that I was like, you know what? I don't need to watch this. This isn't going to be what I want. Um, for the most part, I've been enjoying the shows. You know, yeah, like I said, they're like I'm not going to watch that show that is a drama about a girl that inherits a fashion company, fashion designing company, and there are a bunch of eligible bachelors that she can fall in love with. I just don't think that show is gonna interest me, so I'm not watching it. I'm not watching the. I don't have a schedule. I should do that. That's a good thing. So I do model kit building on Monday and Thursday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. And on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. till ? I play games or do some other stream. Sometimes, as I said, it is I play video games. This past Wednesday, I played Hearthstone, and then sometimes I do other bonus streams. Yeah, I don't have a scheduled thing in Nightbot. That's probably a good idea. So I'm actually gonna put that in my note thing, in my Google Doc as a thing to think about. That probably will be helpful to have in Nightbot as a thing. But yeah, I don't have that right now. But yeah, that is my schedule. So again, my next build stream will be on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we are going to build the weapon because we're going to wrap up here in a minute. We're going to build the lance for this. That's going to be on Monday, and then we will finish that up, and then we will look at the transformations this kit has. I mean, it's nothing major, but this kit, it snaps it apart basically, and then you can combine them together into two different vehicles, which is kind of neat. And then also, it does say that if you have the Arch, the Impulse Gundam Arch, you can mix and match them. As you can see, come on, fold. There. You can mix and match them here, like so. And then that is, yeah, so you can take that and you can just switch them, which I don't know why you would, but you can. But yeah, we'll build the weapon on Monday, and then we'll start our, I don't know how to say this. It's the next kit that we've got on the docket is Dija. I'll look up how to say it. It's Dijeh. Dija? I've never known how to say that kit, but it is from Zeta, and it is not a Gundam. It is a mobile suit, but it is a cool one. And this is the high grade of that. That'll be the next kit that we build. But I'll look at some reviews from people and get the actual pronunciation because I haven't watched a show with this featured in it in a long time, and so I forget how it's said. But this is a 2018 high grade. We don't work with green that often, and this is just like, I also sometimes like working on kits that are not the traditional Gundam. Like, I like working on some other mobile suits now and again. All right, so we got to put this backpack on. So yeah, so we'll do the weapons, the transformation, and the rest of it on the next stream. That folds in, so we can take a photo of that. But that's it. So what happens now, Pat? You're asking. Well, we're gonna go raid. We're gonna go find a stream of people. They're often not builders. They're often just people that I know and like in the world that I think are cool, and we'll go see what they're up to. And we'll give them a raid. They're often video game players because that is a lot of the people that I follow on the internets. But we'll go and see what they're doing and go and give them a raid. Raid. Speaking of, we talked about Xandra earlier. Xandra Vandra, as she is known on there. We are going to go give Xandra a raid. She made her emotes, and she is currently playing Dark Souls 2, which is she does a randomizer for Dark Souls 2 that she's currently playing, and we will go give her a watch. Yeah, because she is cool. So everyone be on your best behavior because Xandra is rad, and we want to go and support her and be cool. Good night to you. Lord Crashton, have a great night, everybody. If you're not coming along in the raid, that's okay. If you are coming on the raid, please come along. And as I said, be cool when you get there. And I'll see you in the next build with Baer, which will be Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern till 11 p.m. Eastern, finishing this kit, starting the next one. Bye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.